You ever wake up somewhere that feels like your dreams snuck out while you slept and painted themselves on reality? That's Mandalay. It's got layers, it's got lions, it's got monks who don't blink at selfies. Let's dive in. We explored in a minivan taxi that looked like it had survived a small war, or maybe just Mandalay traffic. New additions to the squad, an Austrian brother-sister duo we picked up in the streets, who joined like this was a Southeast Asian reboot of The Amazing Race. Now we were 6. 2 groups, 1 beat-up van, 0 plans, and no working AC in this van. So we technically saw the 2 lions of Mandalay Hill. By saw, I mean. We drove past them while debating whether we'd forgotten sunscreen, bug spray, or our sense of direction. Majestic, stone, definitely judging us. The lions are like giant bouncers for enlightenment. If they had eyebrows, they'd be raised. Mandalay's got about 1.2 million people, and approximately 1.1 million of them ride motorbikes at once. It's Myanmar's cultural capital, and the energy here hums at this beautifully chaotic frequency, where monks walk barefoot past street food carts, and golden spires casually photobomb every skyline shot. The people, incredibly warm. The vibe? Spiritual, lively, and occasionally noodle-fueled. Stop 1. The Mandalay Palace, former home of Burmese royalty and current home of whoa, that's a big moat. It's surrounded by a perfect square fortress. Mathematically satisfying, historically tragic. The palace was rebuilt after World War II, because nothing says welcome to Mandalay like a flaming history lesson courtesy of Allied bombs. Still, it's beautiful, eerie, like walking through the ghost of a kingdom. Our next stop was Sutong Pi Pagoda, the wish-fulfilling pagoda. Yes, we all wished not to trip on the escalator. At the top of Mandalay Hill, the panoramic views nearly forgive your calves for the stairs. The pagoda, gold on gold with more gold. Like if Liberace and the Buddha co-designed a temple. Sutong Pi Pagoda sits atop Mandalay Hill. It's a vibrant golden sanctuary believed to grant blessings and good fortune. The journey up includes a colorful escalator ride or a barefoot climb past souvenir stands and curious monkeys. At the summit, you're rewarded with sweeping panoramic views of Mandalay, especially magical at sunset. The pagoda's tiled mosaic floors shimmer in the sunlight, while mirrored pillars and ornate Buddha statues add to its spiritual charm. It's a popular spot for both pilgrims and selfie seekers. Local devotees come to make offerings and prayers, while travelers soak in the calm, camera-ready atmosphere. Whether you're spiritual or just seeking views and vibes, Sutong Pi blends beauty, serenity, and symbolism in one unforgettable hilltop experience. Don't forget to make a wish. It might just stick. Cultural fact. In Mandalay, you're not just a tourist. You're a celebrity. If you're white and remotely sunburnt, congrats. You're now the face of the confused foreigners of Myanmar calendar. We were asked for so many photos we started charging in smiles and awkward peace signs. The Austrians? Pros. Us? Imagine a deer in headlights and with sweat. Team Norway was rather popular, and we have to remember that the country has just opened up to tourism in our 2016 visit. The best news means there is no other tourists in the city for miles. This is the cue for photos to be taken with our group. So naturally plan ahead for your celebrity photo time in the day activity. The temple is large, but we eventually got to explore it in private after the photo shoot. While everything is spectacular, you have open walls so the heat is in there, with you making it a challenging environment. So stay hydrated and enjoy best you can. Maybe a portable USB fan. We got back in the road to get to the next temple. But before we go there, let me share the road life here. Which side of the road to drive? They drive on the right-hand side of the road. But most cars have steering wheels on the right, imported from countries like Japan. Yes, that means you're driving a right-hand drive car on the right side of the road, which can feel confusing, especially for overtaking and visibility. Traffic and streetlights. Traffic in Mandalay is chaotic, especially during the day. Streetlights are inconsistent. Some intersections have signals, many do not. Motorbikes dominate the roads, often weaving between lanes, ignoring traffic rules, and sometimes driving against traffic. Driving at night. Not recommended unless absolutely necessary. Street lighting is poor or non-existent in many areas. Many vehicles, especially motorbikes and carts, have no lights or reflectors. So stay off the roads at night. Next stop, Tuk-Tuk Pagoda, also known as the world's largest book. This space is divided into two sections as we see from above. It has 729 white stupas, each with a marble slab inscribed with Buddhist scriptures. It's like walking through an encyclopedia if Google went to a yoga retreat. You don't read it all, you feel it. And by feel, I mean, get lost halfway through and pretend you knew what you were doing all along. Want to photograph monks? Rule number 1, ask silently. Eye contact plus respectful nod. Monk consent. Rule number 2, if they're walking, don't block the path like a travel blogger possessed. Last but definitely not least, Mahamuni Pagoda. It's like Kuthadau's quiet, elegant cousin. Less crowded, more serene. White stupas rise like notes in a sacred symphony. Minimalist, poetic, utterly Instagrammable. This is where the noise fades. Where the monks glide like they're not touching the ground. Where even the van gang finally shut up for a minute. Mandalay wasn't what we expected. It was better, dusty, chaotic, spiritual, sincere. We showed up with half a plan, a questionable map and sunscreen that did not do its job. But we left with something better. A minivan full of new friends. A camera full of accidental modeling gigs. And a heart full of the kind of stillness that sneaks in when you're not looking. So here's to Mandalay, the land of monks, marvels, and minivans that may or may not fall apart mid-turn.
Cold mushroom pizza. That's how it got us. Because we were like, oh yeah, mushroom pizza.
Nick Bennett.
Nick Bennett.
If you liked this adventure, hit that like button like it's the shutter on a monk-approved photo op. Subscribe for more travel stories that don't always go as planned, but always go somewhere interesting.
In a city filled with monks and 5 tourists.
See you in the next chapter.